and who wrote these memos, is our guest tonight. I'm very much looking forward to asking him about that and everything else under the sun.
I don't know. I don't know enough. Yeah, I can't answer that. I mean, I could, but I can't. I don't know whether I can answer that, Rachel. I don't think I can answer that as I sit here.
Let me ask you a related question that I also don't know if you can answer.
Come on, he's got to know something.
I'm not permitted to answer that. I have no personal knowledge of that. I don't know anything about that, and if I did, I wouldn't say it.
I'm going to ask you more questions that you can answer.
I don't know. I had no idea, and I didn't know. I don't know for sure. I can't recall. That's another one I can't answer.
Guess he doesn't know. Comey, Stormy, two peas in a pod. One had a book, another had a sketch. And they tried to outdo each other in a game of publicity ping pong.
I thought, honestly, that he was, sort of handsome.
You realize I'm actually kind of an honest idiot?
And I have, bodyguards, and you don't even want to know their food bill.
I think I'm a good person where I've lied.
My baby had a blowout in her diaper.
During the salad. Before the shrimp scampi.
I'm a better actress than he is.
There might be green men out there.
Women like me matter.
I don't want to be too tough on myself.
I'm done being bullied.
It sucked.
Oh, yeah. Now, as for those Comey memos, I got more of a shock taking my tube socks out of the dryer. I'm sorry, the collusion seems more between Democrats and the media than anyone else. But if you're a Democrat, you're thinking, crap, this stuff isn't working. What do we do now?
The Democratic Party has filed a federal lawsuit in Manhattan against the Russian government, the Russian intelligence service, WikiLeaks, and the Trump campaign, alleging damage to the Democratic Party as a result of the hack in the 2016 presidential election.
That's amazing. They're suing Russia. There's another new avenue to unseat the president because all the other previous ones are dead ends. It's my golden rule. When idiots don't get what they want, they sue. Now, judging by all the coverage, you'd think that was it for the week. Well, not so, my friends. Over Easter, Mike Pompeo met Kim Jong-un.
He said that Pompeo had a great meeting and that they're setting up this summit, if you will. This is the highest level contact between the North Korean leadership and the United States leadership in the history of the two things.
So we find out about the meeting on Tuesday night. By Friday, we're hearing North Korea was suspending its nuclear and long-range missile tests. Yeah, nothing important here. It's certainly not up there with a rich guy banging a porn star. Actually, if Kim is true to his word, this is, to quote Joe Biden from years ago, a big deal. Even the guy on CNN admitted it.
This is an extraordinarily significant development and, frankly, a huge win for President Trump.
Kim has a funny voice. This could be super huge. This could be up there with the Berlin Wall coming down, the collapse of the Soviet Union, the breakup of Menudo. Was for me. And I got to wonder, it has to be hard on all those other networks. How do they cover something this monumental if Trump's responsible? And what if Dennis Rodman helped? It's possible. I owe him an apology. Fact is, if Trump solves North Korea, make some room for him on Rushmore. And if you factor in other accomplishments, ISIS, the economy, China, you might need to clear off the whole damn mountain. So where does this leave the never-Trumpers? Clapping for car accidents. Terrible audience we have here. It's time for an intervention. Think about what they're doing, obsessing over a decade-old sex romp while the world stage changes. Now, think about the collapse of the USSR. What if the MSNBCs of today were around back then? They'd be doing a town hall on the secret sexism of leg warmers. But I get it. What if the person you hate changes the world for the better? Maybe learn a few lessons? For example, you don't have to like someone to appreciate their skill set. I mean, yeah, maybe Trump is like a mafia don, but maybe a mafia don is what you need to get certain people to listen. Trump said fire and fury and the media laughed, but Kim didn't. He got it. It was his language. Trump seems to do this with every issue, and it works. His presence, it's like a laxative in a brownie. He gets everyone going. I think I've used that joke before. And yeah, even I admit it's crazy if the guy from The Apprentice brings world peace. It's crazy. And as for those of you who find it unsavory that the same guy slept with a porn star, well, we all can't be as pure or as boring as you are. Fact is, if you're a billionaire living the life in New York City, I think it's against the law if you don't sleep with a porn star. But for all you generic anti-Trumpers, it's time to admit this whole Stormy saga has really got nothing to do with defending the honor of a porn star. You don't care about her. She's just a prop to be used to unseat a president. She was used in films, and now she's being used on cable news. It's all just an extended bitter tantrum caused by an election, which is fine. But if your petty emotions get in the way of something that could make the world a better and safer place, then you're a loser. And you will not be invited to the Korean Unification Party to be held at an undetermined location. But I'm thinking it's Dobbs Place. No joke. He has a hot tub that seats 240. All right. Let's welcome tonight's guests. He's so smart, colleges apply to him. Author, political commentator, host of The Mark Steyn Show, the great Mark Steyn. Like a family of termites, he knows how to bring down the house. His latest book, it's amazing. It's called Everybody's Awful Except You. Actor and comedian Jim Florentine. She thought Jaws was a comedy. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. And his sneezes are classified as Category 1 hurricanes. Former WWE superstar and my massive sidekick, Tyrus. All right. Steyn, where do we begin? I mean, what happens to everybody who never took Trump seriously if this happens?
Well, they're pretending nothing has happened. So, so Kim Jong-un has just suspended all nuclear tests.
Yes.
And they're still going to talk about Stormy Daniels.
Yes.
For the next month. By the way, do you know the name of Kim Jong-un's nuclear missile?
No.
It's his missile is called the No Dong.
Really?
Which sounds like Stormy Daniels' easiest movie. It's not funny, you know. If you look up in the sky and see no dong coming at you, it's not a good over Cleveland. It's not a good sign. But I agree with what I think. This is fantastic that this guy is bringing about world peace.
Yeah.
By doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what infuriates.
Yes,
them.
exactly.
And it doesn't. And they'll still. And the less and less there is to focus on. Like Stormy, I mean, Stormy is boring anyway because it's not even like a sex scandal. It's a campaign finance scandal.
That's
for
true.
some reason.
An exciting campaign finance scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Jim, do you care about Trump's past dalliances? And what do you make of this whole North Korea thing?
No, look, it happened in 2005, 2006. He wasn't president. He didn't even know he was running for presidency.
Yeah.
And isn't it funny? Remember the left freaked out when Trump called him Little Rocket Man? Remember they thought there was going to be a nuclear war the next day?
Yeah.
Get this guy out of office. Like that insult was he was going to push the button on Little Rocket Man.
Yes. By the way, Little Rocket Man's kind of a cool nickname. You know, I mean, could mean, you know, a number of different things. Cat. What if they become pals? What if Trump and Little Kim end up becoming BFFs? This could happen.
I don't think that can happen.
Really?
He's still an evil dictator, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that President Trump probably wouldn't want to be friends with him. But he does know how to talk to people.
Yes.
And I'm someone who has, in the past, been critical of President Trump over certain things, but I don't understand people that have to be critical over every single thing, because this is objectively a good thing.
No, it is.
Objectively. I don't care how you feel about President Trump. I don't care if you absolutely hate the guy. You kind of got to love not being blown up.
Yes, that's true. Tyrus, it's too soon to tell, but there must be a lot of people heading to therapy next week.
I'm still trying to find one way that Little Rocket Man would benefit me as a title. I would be furious no matter what way you said it. Hey, Little Rocket Man, what'd you say to me? I don't think I would like that. It doesn't. Kim Jong-un said, we're locking up our nukes.
Yeah.
Period. Investigate that. Get a special counsel to investigate that.
Yeah.
Like that. We're investigating everything else, but that's the real story. All the other stuff doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm actually glad they bring up his past, because then I get some passes on my own past. You know?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, the president did it.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, fellas. It's a good thing.
Yes. I find it progressive liberals to be particularly, I don't know, puritanical, sexist about the fact that she's an adult film star, as if that makes it worse. It's like, no, it's not. It's like,
Don't say adult films. I hate that though. Even Fox is doing that. Adult film artist Stormy Daniels. Even the BBC. I heard the BBC a couple of days ago, and they just this lady just says the pornographic motion picture star who's accused of sleeping with Donald Trump. It's pornography. It's not adult film. An adult film is like some Harvey Weinstein chick flick that gets Oscar nominated.
Not to mention, when they emphasize adult film, is there another category?
Such a good point.
I don't want to know. I'm assuming if you say porn, I'm assuming it's adults.
Yeah.
So
I should stop this segment. All right, coming up.
Back up and retake that.
Yes. Jim Comey. Maybe you heard of the guy? We're going to talk about him some more next.